Hello, Brenda here. Welcome to spring 2025 here in New England. Today is a beautiful day, it's warm, all the birds are chirping, so I'm very excited to show you how my garden survived the winter and then the plans that I have for this season. Let's get to it. So here's the iceberg garden. I did pruning last weekend. I still need to do some additional pruning. I spotted a few crossing canes, so gotta do that. And they all did very well in the winter. Again, some of these crossing canes, and still I see that there is some that are not budding, so need to do a little bit of cutting. But in general, all went through the winter very well. We had a few weeks of really cold weather and I was worried, but they did well. We have a lot of deer passing through, so we did get a lot of deer pressure, some of our shrubs. So you can see it's like pretty much eaten. And we'll see if they survive. They look still alive, but they don't look great. I forgot to cover them with burlap. And these ones, they just didn't do great. Deer just came in like every day to eat, and just again not great. So what are the plans for this garden in 2025? Like right here, I will plant 3 new shrubs from Grace Rose Farm, which I got them today, so I'm very excited. So I will keep you updated on that progress, and then I will bring the pot that I had here last year. I think I'm gonna change the rose that I have there, so more to come. But here it is. This is the iceberg garden. So here's the Lady of Shalott garden. Here are the Litchfield angels. I have 5 of them. I planted them last year. They were 2-year-old bare-rooted roses. And again, they are doing phenomenal. Look at all those buds. They did very well. And they did very well given that they're in a shaded area. So again, I think these roses, Litchfield angels, are perfect for not only sunny spots but really for shaded areas. And I believe that that's the way David Austin advertises them. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping, but I'll show you the new project I have there. So here are my Desdemona standard trees. I got them last year, bare rooted. They got a little bit of blood spot last year, but these then I was worried about how to cover them in the winter. My husband did. We cover the root ball with mulch, as you can see, but then in here, to protect this area, this is where the graft is, my husband covered that with burlap, and they survived the winter. There was a lot of people asking questions in social media about how to cover rose trees in the winter, and I have to say, put burlap around their root ball and they do great. So all right, here are the azaleas. They are doing great. I covered them with burlap for the winter. And the boxwoods that I planted early last year, they are doing great. They have grown significantly, and I will post a picture of how small they were. These are sprinter boxwoods. Still need to get out the spring decorations. Another azalea. Here are the boxwoods. They are growing spectacular. Here is one of the Desdemona trees, rose trees. And then here in the bottom, if you may remember, I had planted May salvias. They didn't do great here. Two reasons. One, this was a bit of a shaded spot, so they needed full sun. And then the second piece was the soil was too moist all the time. So I am thinking about what I'm gonna put here to basically cover those soil conditions. But the rose tree is awesome. Then here I planted last year again this Japanese holly, but I don't know, some kind of disease or I don't know, something happened to it, so we'll see. I think it's still alive. I see the canes inside and they're very green, but for some reason all the foliage outside is falling off, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I may have to replace it. And here are the Lady of Shallots. So as you remember, there were 3 of them, and I recently pruned them. 2-year-old Lady of Shallots, and they look spectacular. Look at all those buds. And then in the back, I have 3 Litchfield angels that also survived the winter. So what I'm gonna do with those is, instead of having the shape like this, I'm gonna have them like that, like in a semicircle in the back. And now let's go to the Queen of Sweden garden. So we are approaching the Queen of Sweden garden. Again, I have all around the sunroom, that's the sunroom, all around the sunroom, Litchfield angel roses. Again, they are pretty resilient. These are on root, and this is the 3rd year. I did a little bit of pruning, not too hard, just to make sure that they set well, but I think now they are very well established. So again, they're doing great. Unrooted. And then here in the back, the same. All the way around this area. And then here in the center, I have the Queen of Sweden roses. These are very tall roses. So here it is. Tall and slim. They look like pillars at the end of the season. So, but they did awesome in the winter. Again, I pruned these as well. They were on root. And again, same as the Litchfield angels, they are in its 3rd year. And then here is another Desdemona standard tree. These ones do have at the bottom the May salvias, and these ones did very well. So we'll see how they do this year. And then on the other end, there's also another Desdemona tree. Here I have a petite knockout, and this is a very productive rose. Very productive. I did some pruning, but this rose is just phenomenal. I love that rose. So here's the popcorn garden. As you might remember, I have here 3 flower pots with 2 popcorn drifts, and one petite knockout. They're still in the garage and they're gonna come out tomorrow. I haven't pruned those, and if I show them from the garage, they are leggy, so they started growing inside, so I need to do pruning once I take them out. I don't want to get too close, but these are bare bodies. Those are platform feeders with a camera on it. I put this up in the winter for some of the wild birds to have food to eat. And the species that I caught are phenomenal, and that's what you see there is a American goldfinch. And I don't know if you can appreciate or hear all the birds chirping, but I will post a video again of some of the species that I caught during the winter. Now I'm gonna walk over to the Darcy Bustle garden. The grass is growing. We had a few days with rain, so the grass is getting pretty green. And here we go to the Darcy Bustle garden. So here is the Darcy Bustle garden. Last season I caught these pink drifts down, and I think I told you the reason why, which was that they never flowered. So these are coming out. This one did flower. I have to prune, but it's coming out as well, and I am gonna replace them with Luna Love, which I will pop a picture of Luna Love up in the screen. Here are the 9 Darcy Bustles. And again, same here on this side. I'm gonna keep this one, but it's coming out, and then those 2, I am gonna get rid of them. All right, now into the rainbow garden. So here's the rainbow garden. You might remember that the plan here was to plant 2 Kew Garden rose bushes on each side of the stairs. And I got the wrong roses, and these are the generous gardener. So I left them for the season last year. Now this year I'm just gonna pull them out, and I'm gonna replace it with the Kew Gardens. I did get them from David Austin last year. They were winterizing in the garage, but these are coming out and the Kew Gardens are coming in. I'm gonna start with the top section. So again, they all did very well during the season, during the winter season rather. This one that you see very small is Mansfield Park. They never took off. Last year they struggled. It's still alive, but I got 2 new bushes from Grace Rose, and these are gonna come out. I'm gonna put them in a flower pot. We'll see. And again, everything else has been pruned, and they all look very good and budding and ready for 2025 season. Okay, now into the lower part of the rainbow garden. So last year, this is a generous gardener, and I put up this trellis. So it's doing very well. And look at all of that. It's looking awesome. This was Mansfield Park pink. similar to the Mansfield Park, never took off. I don't even know if you can see it. There it is. It never took off. I think this one is dead, so I'm just gonna pull it out and plant the new one that I got from Grace Rose Farm. Again, these are all that's all been pruned. There are a few casualties. For example, this is Coco Loco. I think it's dead. I'm gonna remove the mulch in a few minutes, but I think it's dead. And then here, this one is dead. This was, I'm forgetting the name, blanking the name. Is dead. I'll post the name up. I'm blanking the name. Is dead. But everything else, some of them had a rough winter, but I was able to prune them and they all seem alive. Just those two. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but it's beautiful today. Again, this is the way it looks after the winter. So now I'm gonna show you the plans for this year. I'm excited. And I forgot to mention this side. This is still the Rainbow Garden. This is the lower section. These were 4 high voltages that they're doing amazing. This is like their 4th year. And then these ones are the knockouts. Again, they're doing great. And this is a Rainbow Garden. And here is the Terrace Garden. There's a few videos in YouTube of the early progress back in 2024. But the winter rolled in and we had to stop the project. And now we are about to restart it again. So what you see here is we hire a company to come in with filling material just to make sure that we have the section that is flat to put a wall similar to what we have here in the Rainbow Garden. And then from that trench up, all of this is going to be a rose garden, and I have a video about the plans for this garden. So there's going to be 3 rows of roses. They are not going to follow the rainbow pattern like the Rainbow Garden. Here it is. I will keep you updated on the process, so I will continue that series of video once we restart the garden. But so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I am excited for what 2025 is going to bring. I will keep you updated on the rose gardens, and I will keep you up to speed on what is going on with the terrace garden. In any case, happy spring and happy planting and happy rose gardening, and I hope you enjoy the year and the season as much as I will. Take care. Bye.